Thank you. It's amazing. Thank you, Jill. It's amazing listening to you, and also to see how common of the stuff that some of the stuff that we kind of our journeys. So, okay, hello everybody. So I'm Shereen Hussein, and I'm currently a professor of health and social care policy at the London School of Hygiene. I am also a co-director of one of the policy research units, PRUCOM, which looks at commissioning health and social care, and I do a lot of work on community health services and unmet health and care needs. I have a big portfolio of research, particularly in social care. I have a big interest in workforce and workforce well-being as well. And I don't think it's a coincidence, because we kind of think about what we would like to have in our lives and work-life balance. I'm leading a portfolio of work looking at things like how to measure well-being at work for care workers, looking at the impact of, so we launched the longitudinal study to look at the impact of COVID on the workload of social care workers with a number of surveys. I also worked a lot on migration issues. And again, that kind of interplay with my own journey, inequalities due being different, equality, older migrants and younger migrants. We're very fortunate to, now we're going to start a new center for care, and also have an interest of global aging, which of course resonate with my history when you hear it. So a big portfolio. And again, like Jill, if somebody told me that I would be in that position with that kind of big portfolio of work, millions of pounds of funding, and huge number of publications, I would laugh at their face, and said that's almost impossible. But this where did it all start? So I wasn't born here in the UK. I was born in Cairo in Egypt. I have a very loving family, my dad and my mum here. And also a bit of a spoiled brat, to be honest. So kind of, take it easy, we love you. I was rubbish at school. Everybody said, oh, my teacher, you're so smart, but you're not doing enough. And I hated school to the point that at maybe what's equivalent to grade 8 here or 9, I said, I don't want to go to school. I really don't like it. And my father came and said, do you want to go and do the O-levels at the British Council? And I said, what is it? And when I looked at the curriculum, compared it to what I was going to do, so I was at British schools anyway, I said, yes, I want to do it. And my father, being cautious, said, why don't you balance? You go to your school and then do that. And I said, no, I'm going to drop school. I'm going to focus. And I went to school 16 years old. That was tough. That was really tough, not because I wasn't smart or because of things are difficult. But when I tried to go to university, I was adamant I don't want to do anything hard. So I did 5 O-levels, I get 3 A stars and 2 Bs, and I had a mixture of math and biology and chemistry, and I could do medical school, I could do engineering, and I said, these 2 I'm not going to go, because I don't want to. I don't want to study all my life. I really want to have fun. And I went to do economics and political science, primarily to do political science. And when I went to university, it was like, you're a girl, you're 16 years old. And I discovered there was a department called statistics. And everybody in statistics were men who made fun of me, like, you're rubbish at math. And so I thought, I'm going to go. You have a year. So in Egypt, you have like 4-year studies. The first year is like a generic, you do the 3, and then you decide to specialize for the rest of the 3 years. And you have like a 2 month to make up your mind. So you can go to different lectures. And I decided to go to see what's statistic all about, why they are like that. And to my surprise, I loved it. I loved it. I thought somebody finally speaking intellectually to a certain bit of my brain, which is clicked. So I actually excelled at it. I was really good at it. All my lecturers and professors loved me. But life is not always easy. So I lost my dad, who was lost him very young. And that actually changed me. So I kind of, wanted to do everything because I didn't want to think about anything. So I kind of volunteered. I worked as an air hostess at night. and went to lectures in the morning. And to my surprise, I graduated the first of my class, which was like, where did this come from? And I was like, okay, I'm going to go now and work, and everybody is going to want to hire me. You know, that smart little girl who's 19, just didn't turn 20 yet. They want to hire me because I'm the best, you know, kind of, I'm really good, I'm smart, I can do lots of things. But no, it was almost impossible. It was almost impossible to find a proper job. I was offered proper, you know, jobs as a secretary, as an English teacher, as whatever. And every time I go and do an internship, everybody says how brilliant I am. I don't get it. I don't get it. For some reason, it was not happening. And it was difficult to remain kind of proud of yourself and to keep, you know, your energy going. And also there was a lot of, you know, places to go, what I'm going to do. And me being mean, I decided actually to work as an English teacher. I worked as an English teacher for a year for fifth graders, and I studied at night computer science. So I kept going. And then a chance happened. It was serendipity. So because I was in the right place at the right time, I was doing this computer science, and my lecturers loved me. They told me that somebody at the Population Council, which I didn't know about, which they do a lot of development and research work, they want a researcher who knows statistics and who can do this and that. So finally, I got something wonderful. I couldn't believe it. I was paid in dollars at the time in Cairo. I was finally, somebody really loves what I'm doing. And I loved it. I loved working with numbers and doing primary research, but no, it wasn't academic. It was primarily to change policy, to change public attitude and understand what's happening. And this job also was international. So it opened up for me opportunities to travel and to go places. And it just grew. And then I had a chance to continue my studies. So actually I came to the UK and I studied, I did my medical demography master's at the London School of Hygiene. And then I decided to pursue my PhD at the London School of Economics, all in demography. I started a family and I got really busy. I've got 3 children during my master's and PhD and remained working internationally. At that time, it was like, the world is your oyster. Where do you want to go from here? You know, am I going to go to America? I'm going to go to Geneva to work with the UN because I was doing projects with them. Am I going to go back? And then I decided to settle down. So it was a combination of children, husband, and me losing a bit of energy. And then so I thought, okay, so where can I work? Maybe I can use my skills and work in academia. And it's very similar woods, to be honest, but it's a bit different. So both there is a passion for research. I wanted to do research here and there, but maybe the different output focus, there is a different focus, and suddenly publication became more important than than the policy development. Of course, you have to do some policy impact, but really it was my ability to adapt skills to different application and research questions. And I have to have new skills to harness. So grant writing and teaching. So although that in international development, you do a lot of work with donors and you write them reports and you get funding to what you're doing, it's completely different. And I can't agree more with Jael about rejection. But there was drawbacks. So I couldn't really publish a lot from my PhD. It's something sad that I keep, remembering. It was a great PhD. It was all about women empowerment and partner choices and implication on health outcomes. And when I actually found a job, I say it laughing, but it's really interesting. My criteria for the job was the train station, where it is, how long is the commute. I had 3 young children under the age of 8. I needed to think of nurseries, time to travel, more than what to do. So I found a job in social care. That was back 2002, 2003. I have no idea what they were talking about. I read about it, I studied, researched it, and I just tried to make the best impression that I could with what I know, all my skills. And to my lucky surprise, they liked me, and they actually allowed me to have autonomy in thinking, because they saw the value in my skills. So really what were the success factor at the time is you believe in yourself. I had a great husband as well. He believed in me. He was kind, you can do it. You keep doing it. Don't worry, you will get through. And also my line manager allowed me to work flexibly. So I was having the dream working from home, and it's a crazy dream. We want it, but it's really, really difficult. And I think it's really important to realize that. At the time, as Jill was saying, I was fixed term. I had to keep, applying for grants. I have to produce. I was kind of had my laptop was part of me. And I was like going to swimming classes, trampolining classes, and all the time on my laptop. All the parents were convinced I'm a student and they have to leave me alone to be able to finish what I'm doing. But this was my life. I didn't have social life. I didn't communicate with people. It was my kids, my house, and my work. So obviously there is a catch, workload, self-management, and priority setting, and keeping your eye on the ball, because it's easy to get sucked into now and then without thinking about where you're going and your career progression. And I have to say, my husband was really good. He gave me a tape and a book for Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And he really, drew my attention to this little table. He said, you have to be organized. You write down what's important, what's not important, what's urgent, and what's not urgent. And you focus on quadrant 2. They're not urgent, but crucial for you, because nobody will tell you do it, but you have to find the time to do it. So I learned that I have to be very well organized. And I always had this little notebook to say what I need to do to achieve what. What is the next promotion? What is the next grant? And it's almost like looking at a crystal ball and keeping your focus. I have to find this half an hour or hour that is not to do the report that I have to do it now, or to do the analysis that I have to do it now, but to write this paper and publish, or to get these skills and make sure that I've got it under my belt, or to apply for funding and try to be a PI. So it was always this kind of motivation. And it's not a cliche, kind of listen to motivation. This is the psychology book. And it's really important to understand these things and to be self-disciplined. So I would say self-disciplined, time management are key. And while I was doing this, you have to keep the eye on the skills that maybe you're not gaining it very easily. So the technical skills are there, you can kind of do it. Management skills are really important. How to manage and communicate with people, how to work within a team, how to stand for yourself. And I'll talk a little bit about that without being aggressive. So this being assertive, but not aggressive, and understanding your rights, but understanding your duties. So that was all very important. And I have to keep reminding myself about it. And there are also lots of barriers. And I think the barriers I saw was really between mid-career and leadership, where you kind of gone to, from a research assistant quickly to associate, quickly to a fellow, and then a little bit to senior fellow. And then to jump up this, it was like I was banging my head on an invisible barrier. And it's truly like that. It was truly like that. You try, you've done it, you look at the application forms, you look at the requirements, you ticked all the boxes, but it's not nudging, it's not budging at all. And you keep banging and you break a little bit and you go through it. And, there are other things associated with who you are. There are stereotypes or belittling. There is taking things out of context, there are lots of things, being a woman, being a mother, being a bit different, being, very easily identified. And also being threatened by people. Sometimes feel that they are threatened because what I'm doing, and then they can't attack my work in a critical, reflective way. So maybe it's easier to attack me in person. And there is also to be aware of people who may be sucking your credit or sucking your ideas, and how we stand for that. So I guess during this period, there has been a lot of role models, and I didn't list them, but it was more difficult for me. So some people have agenda, some people were genuinely interested to help you. And I think this is where the process is, that you listen, you talk, you reflect, but you decide which piece of advice you take and act upon. And you accept that you make mistakes, and then you try again. And I guess it's really important to talk to people openly, and to have the opportunity to have people to trust in them, but also be wary that there are sometimes people will give you advice that you don't want to listen to, and you try to improve your skill to detect which piece of advice you want to take and which piece of advice you want to really kind of keep away and not take on board. And I would say during that time, you have to remain focused on the quality and the impact. This is where you're going to progress. This is what's going to stay, achieving results, working with people, managing yourself and your skill, delivering excellent work. This is so, so important. And it's an endless circle. So wherever you're going to learn, you have to read more, you have to, find other ways to do things and innovative ways to do it. And also to take credit. So I'm glad that Jill talked about the imposter syndrome, and it's very easy to fail in it, especially for me. But I thought, always, and I think my husband, again, I give him credit to that. I say, you have to take credit of what you're doing. And I guess as a mother, you have to give away a lot of opportunities for credit, like conferences. I couldn't travel because it was so difficult to arrange. So I always handed in my work to other people to present. And it's very easy to fall into that. So I try, okay, maybe there is a UK conference, maybe something that is close that I can go to. And I started to build that up a little bit by a little bit. And I think that the other important thing to remember when working in research, that you don't work in isolation, and it's a balance. And it was a very difficult balance, especially when you apply for promotion application. You want to prove that you have a unique contribution, but also you are working within a team. And it's important to make the balance between the two. You can't succeed without a good team. So you have to build this relationship. You have to take credit for what you do, but give credit to others for what they do too. And also to encourage people to be the best of themselves. And I can say that when I became in a position when I became a PI and managing teams, and how to encourage people and give them, kind of belief in themselves and give them credit that they've done this bit. And capitalize on everyone's skills and talents. So it's really the collective sum is much bigger than, the whole is much bigger than the sums of the parts. And try to be, innovative, and also explain what you're doing. So kind of explaining and translating your results is key, because when you translate your results and tell people, like, tell to your friend or someone who doesn't know much about the research. I always use my kids as a guinea pig. Tell them the story without, kind of all the jargon around it. Do they get it? If they get it, then you can talk to everybody in the world, talk to the media, talk to the people in the sector, and then you will have an impact. And that will improve everything. That will enhance your chances of getting funding afterwards, of publishing, of getting promotions. So really get out there. So that's what I wanted to say today. I think all of you, I always kind of, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. So it's really your choice, and you are the one who will decide. So that's it for me. Thank you.